Daniels will meet me over here. We'll plan out the last portion. Moving into the last pillar of quality of life and quality places, you already know these people. Thomas Ellis, Senior Director of Mission United, and Stella Takar, Chief Executive Officer of Bold Consulting and Coaching. So,
each day is a gift. Not one of us is given a certain time that we're allowed to stay here on this earth. In fact, I would venture to say most of us get up on a daily basis and repeat the same routine and patterns day after day, week after week, and month after month with very little change. And I see a few of your heads agreeing and nodding with me. But I guarantee and I bet there's one day in particular we all changed our routine. I know I did. I began to facilitate phone calls with conversations that, quite honestly, I wasn't prepared to address. And my top priority that day became communication with my family. And somehow, prayer just seemed to weave its way into every conversation I had that day and actually for months to come. Yes, my routine did change that day, but actually it changed the rest of my life. You may have figured out by now that we call that day 9/11.
I want to expand for a moment on what Stella said and ask you to think back to that day, a day when our nation was attacked in a way that it had not been attacked since Pearl Harbor 1941. And at the end of that day, when all the dust had settled and we'd gone home to be with the ones that we loved, most of us tuned into the TV and we watched the president address us as his fellow Americans from behind a small makeshift podium at an undisclosed location, and he said the following words: "Freedom has been attacked, and freedom will be defended." And over the next several years, over 2.5 million young men and women raised their hands and voluntarily said, "I will defend freedom. I'll leave the safety and security of my family and my friends and my country, and I'll take up arms, and I'll go and fight a foreign war on hostile soil in the hopes that my fellow Americans will never have to experience terror the way they did on September 11, 2001. And now the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan are over, and those young men and women have come home, and so many of them are looking to make the transition from military life back to civilian life. And it's important for us to support them. Not only is it the right thing to do or the American thing to do, but I would submit to you there's another reason why we should be supporting them. Those 2.5 million young men and women represent the future of America. They will be the future business leaders, the future civic leaders, the future educators, future husbands, wives, mothers, fathers, friends, and neighbors. So fast forward a few years. A couple years ago, Broward County community experts and subject matter experts from Veteran Affairs convened and sat around a table at the United Way of Broward County with additional community leaders, and they determined that there were 6 areas that veterans may need assistance in as they look to make that transition from military to civilian life. Those 6 areas are on the screen behind me. And as we collectively decided as a community that we were going to support our veterans as they make that transition, we decided that those 6 areas are what we're going to focus on, and thus was created Mission United. And so Mission United works to support those young men and women as they're making that transition from military to civilian life. And we use a case management approach to do that. The case management approach is not in a silo, but rather with all of our collective community partners and advocates who come around the table together once a month to determine how is it that we can best serve our veterans, how do we connect the dots for services for them, and how do we do that through a case management approach. In short, Mission United has sort of become that one-stop shop for our veterans and their families as they look to make the transition from military to civilian life. The Office of the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff tells us that we are a leader in this space. They tell us that we are one of 7 organizations in the nation that is truly making that collective impact for our veterans and their families, and they tell us there's 3 reasons why. The first and foremost is that we took the time to build the appropriate infrastructure to support our programmatic efforts, and that we also gathered community support. The second reason is that case management approach to working with our veterans and our families that I spoke of earlier. And the third reason is that we report monthly on our outcomes and metrics, and we are also having an independent third-party evaluation done of our program because we're interested in continual quality improvement. Mission United was not created because there were tremendous gaps in support that was being offered, but because there was no one there to really quarterback and coordinate all those services and to help connect the dots. And that's really the true role that Mission United serves. We're not in competition with anyone, but like I mentioned earlier, through an open arms convening of partnerships approach, we invite all of our colleagues to come around the table once a month to figure out how we do this better.
Mission United has just completed its 2nd year of operations. At the end of the 1st year, they received a Common Good Award by the United Way International organization. Out of 1,200 worldwide United Ways, only 4 of these awards are given out. And your United Way of Broward County was one of them because of the Mission United program. Now, America's United Way programs are visiting and traveling to Broward County to shadow the program to see how they can implement it into their communities as well. We're really excited about that national expansion. It made us realize that this collaborative effort of pulling this coalition together of veteran services was really a great thing and being recognized nationally. But let me tell you, that has not changed our commitment to our community right here in Broward. Our veterans are a priority to us. We understand that a new generation of veterans is emerging and a new sense of pride is rising. But don't take my word for it. Let me introduce you to veteran Francisco.
Hi, Mission United. Listen, sorry I couldn't be there today, but I gotta go make that money with this great job that Mission United has provided me with. What have they done for me? Well, what haven't they done for me? Back in April, I lost my job, dislocated my wrist, came back here, had nothing, Didn't have a home, had no food, because I couldn't operate. I had dislocated wrist. Well, I found Mission United, and they helped me immediately. Gave me money for food, gave me connections and resources to get where I had to go. They set me up with a career workshop where I met my coach, Olivera. She worked for UPS. It just so happened that a job opening came up and they thought of me right away for UPS. I threw in my resume, trained real hard, and the door opened up. And they just don't let anybody get in there as a driver for UPS. And I landed a great job. Well, before I landed that job though, I was struggling. I had no house, no apartment. I found a place in Mission United. I'm here right now. I'm actually in my new apartment. Mission United, they paid for the last month. Helped me pay for my electric bill. Well, they didn't help me get paid, so I could get a deposit and they get it turned on. So they really helped my life a lot. I had this toothache, it was killing me, and a cavity was eating me away. But they set me up with a dentist, and the dentist fixed it, and they hooked it up, and now I'm smiling. Look at it, cleaned it, white teeth. So my life is really changing, Mission United has really helped, and I'm just blessed by everything. The Thanksgiving meals they help me with, they get Buffalo Bills tickets, Miami Dolphins. Well, I know y'all Miami Dolphins fans, but it was a Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills, so it was a great game. They've really been helping me, and they're gonna help vets all over the place. So It's a blessing, and anything you guys need, like I said, I can't be there right now because I'm working hard making that money, but thank you. You guys have been a blessing, you know? Thank you so much. Thank you.
What a wonderful testimonial by Francisco, and there are so many other stories just like his. So we've talked a little bit about what Mission United is, but I want you to think bigger with me and think about what could it become if you were involved. We need more advocates out there promoting our word in the community to help veterans recognize we're here to support them. We need more volunteers who are willing to give of their time and their resources and their expertise. Perhaps you'd want to be on one of the committees for those 6 pillars that I talked about previously. Or perhaps you'd like to be a mentor in our mentor program. Or perhaps you'd like to be one of the businesses like UPS that's willing to hire some of our veteran clients. In closing, I would say that yes, that day in September 2001 did change our future. But the proposal that I would like to ask for you is, how will you get involved to change the life of a veteran? Thank you.